Think Leadcore line's obsolete? Well, think again. Look at those big, beautiful rainbows. I got these fish while trolling 15 to 20 feet deep, and I didn't use a downrigger. If you don't want the expense or hassle of using a downrigger, pick up one of my yellow Leadcore rods in the Fish Hunt Shoot Productions store and get ready to yell, fish on. Just like that, baby. Howdy folks, Kel Kellogg here. It is a cold, blustery day. Rain most of the night. It's not raining right now, but it looks like it could. I've had a lot of requests for this video. This isn't going to be for everybody, but if you're interested in this subject, you're going to want to watch it from, start to finish. What I'm doing, I have a brand new Abu Garcia 5500 LC here, and I'm setting up one of my hybrid Leadcore rigs. Now, as you guys know, I use two basic rigs. They're the same. They utilize 3 colors of Leadcore, but I have a deep rig and a shallow rig. The main difference is on the shallow rig, I only have a 18-foot top shot that goes to my leader of fluorocarbon line, of 20-pound fluorocarbon. On my shallow Leadcore rig, the one that I like to troll, near the surface but get down a little bit, I have a 60-foot top shot of 20-pound line on that one. And that's what we're going to be doing today. The rigs are identical except for the length of the top shot. So, looks like Lucy's digging a hole over there. Anyway, so we're going to be setting up the shallow rig today, and I'm going to be going through all the knots and everything. So let's take a look at this reel. I swear by these Abu 5500 LCs. They're not the sexiest, highest end reel out there, but they are rock solid. They just flat out perform. And I got some new ones. There we go. And if you get an LC 5500, here's what you're going to get. You get a manual that says this is a reel. I don't know what it says. It says something in there. Piece of foam rubber. And there is your reel. Level wind, line counter. These things are absolutely bulletproof. I'm upgrading some of my stuff, so I reached out to my sponsors over at Pure Fishing, and they hooked me up with a few of these, and I can't wait to get out on the water and be sporting a brand new Abu 5500. I got a bunch of these, and like I say, I use them for stripers, trout, just about everything. They just flat out perform. So I'm going to be cutting in and out here. I got a little workbench set up here, and we will get started. I'll be right back. Trout rods, salmon rods, striper rods, halibut rods, downrigger rods, Leadcore rods, spinning rods, and more. If you want a high quality, high performance rod that won't let you down out on the water, go to fishhuntshoot.com and check out our selection of high quality, high performance fishing rods. Okay, I'm back. Now let's talk about some of the equipment I'm using, what you're gonna need, the line that I use, all that kind of stuff before we start spooling up. The first thing I'm using, I've got that LC reel mounted on one of my line winders. This is a phenomenal device. I feature these in the store. You could use them for a winding line on a conventional reel, but there's also settings for spinning reels. It just makes spooling up reels super simple. If you want one of these, check out the Fish Hunt Shoot store. So I've got that, and this is what that guy looks like in the package right there. Okay, so moving on, I have, in terms of tools, have a scissors. You're going to need that. I have some super glue. I buy the generic cheesy stuff. I think it's the same thing. It's just not in a fancy tube. I've got my wife's reading glasses because I can't find my own, and I'm getting kind of blind. You young guys are laughing at me. You'll be blind someday too, so don't laugh too hard. I've got this trilene 10-pound test. This doesn't matter. This is just copolymer. I use this for backing underneath my braid. I've got a spool of 20-pound fins braid. I've got a spool of 20-pound Vanish fluorocarbon, and I've got a spool of 15-pound test Suffix Leadcore. Now, this is low-end Leadcore for the Suffix brand. They've got some fancy stuff. I don't like the fancy stuff. It's great line. It's super smooth. It's wonderful. It's bonded so well with the sheath that I can't separate it. And you're going to see moving on here, I have to be able to separate the sheath from the lead in order to tie the knots that I need to tie. So I like this, just the standard. It's called Suffix Performance Lead Core, 15 pound. I've played around with 12 pound, 18 pound. I like 15 best. I think it's a good compromise between line capacity in my reel and the kind of depth I'm getting. And with these kind of rigs, I can get down 30 feet at about 2 miles an hour. So very effective for getting down without using a downrigger. Anyway, I'm going to start spooling up. I've got all the formulas here, so if you're rigging up a 5500 LC, you can use my numbers. You know exactly what to do. I'm going to click away for a second again, and we will get started spooling up. Okay, so I've got the mono on there, and I am going to spool on 80 feet of backing. Just lay a nice layer of line down on that spool, and that prevents things from spinning around. So I've got about another 30 feet to go here. Of course, the line counter is working in reverse, so I got to do some math here in my mind. Anyway, okay, there we go. That reads 920 feet. That means I have 80 feet of 10-pound test copolymer backing on here. The next thing we need to do is tie this backing to our braid. So I'll be right back. Okay, we've got 80 feet of 10-pound mono on the reel, and I have the 20-pound braided line. This is going to be the backing behind the 3 colors of lead core. And we need to link the 10-pound test and this 20-pound braid together. So here's how I do it. This is a knot I learned a long time ago on charter boats. It's fairly quick. You'll need a little bit of practice. I'm probably out of practice, but we'll get through it. And we're going to tie this knot three different times. We're going to tie it to link the mono to the braid to the lead core, and the lead core to the fluorocarbon top shot. So let's start out. Here we go. This is the first one. Pull a little bit of this mono off the reel here. So I got something to work with. So there we go. I think I got plenty there. So what you want to do is make sure you can see what I'm doing. So I've got the braid over here in my left hand. I've got the mono over here in my right hand. There's the tips of the 2 lines. I'm just going to lay them over one another like so. Make sure I've got plenty of line to work with. So there you go. Tip of the mono's here, tip of the braid's there. They're just laying over each other. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to work with the mono first. I'm going to bring the mono back around. That's going to form this loop here, and I'm just going to wrap around both the mono and the braid. And I'm going to do that probably 5 or 6 or 7 times, whatever I feel like. And theoretically, this knot here is never going to get anywhere near the water. It's going to be buried in the reel the whole time. So that's 5 wraps. So I'm going to start to tighten that down a little bit. Let me find the end of the mono here. So we'll just kind of start to draw that down some. Not all the way, but just so it stays put. Now, on the braid side, there's the tip of the braid. We're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to bring that braid around like that, form that loop, and we're going to go over the braid and the mono 5 or 6 times. So there's 1, 2, whoa. Start again. Told you it takes a little practice, and I am a little rusty. It's cold out here, and my fingers are kind of clumsy. So anyway, I got them both there. Let me just go through it here. So there's once and twice, 3 times, right there, 4 and 5 times. So now just start to bring this down a little bit. My wife says, "Why do you always look at the camera?" I said, "Just so I can see if I'm in the frame when I'm demonstrating something." So I'm just starting to bring that knot down there. We've got the one in the mono over there. Grab both tag ends and just start to work those down. You want them to draw down nice and neat, And they're going to be fairly far away at first. So there, they're both starting to draw down. Now, just start to pull on both main lines and make those knots slide over to one another, right, like that. So you can see the knots are coming together there. And now just individually kind of snug them down. Pull the mono side, the braid side, both of the main line ends, and grab them and tug them down pretty good. There's that one. There's this one. And then here, I'm going to draw these tight together. And what you got there, hold it up to the camera, you got a nice small knot. The lines are linked together. You can cut these tag ends very short. I tend to leave just a little bit. Where's my scissors? I leave probably, I don't know, a 1/16 of an inch or less probably. These aren't very good for cutting braid, but they'll get it done. Right. They're kind of sawing through it, but we'll get it done. There we go. Okay, braid's cut off, and now I'm going to trim that mono tag end. Just like that. So I leave a little tag end, prevents slipping if for some reason I got a huge fish or something. I can't imagine having a fish that big, a trout that big anyway. But if it happened, I got a little bit of insurance there. And here's my final bit of insurance. I like to put a little bit of glue on my knots. So just take the cap off this, and there's that. I'm just gonna bring a little bulge up there of glue. Watch it squirt out all over. Come on, baby. Actually, maybe I'll just go like, there we go. There we go. Just a little dab of that. So, okay, I'll let that knot dry, and when we come back, we're gonna spool on the braided backing. So, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got it all set up. We're ready to spool on the braid. Let me zero this out. Now, this is a question a lot of people ask me. They say, how much braid do you need to use to get the reel up near full when you're done after you put the lead core on and the top shot? The answer to that question is 533 feet. 533 feet of 20-pound braid will make the reel fill up just very nicely. So 533 feet. So I need to do a little math here. That's going to be, my line counter is going to start off at 999 because it's going to be running backwards. So if we took off 500 feet, it would read 500. Take off another 30 feet. We're looking for 470 feet as our reading in there, and that will give us 530 feet of braid. So let's start going. You can see that line winder working. That thing just works fabulous. Makes spooling up so simple. You know, I used to do this with my wife. She'd be holding it with a pencil. It'd be burning her fingers. She'd be like, ow, that hurts. But as you can see, this is just a slick system. This head rotates here. I adjust the tension right here. There's a thumb screw there. I can make it tighter, I can make it looser, I can do whatever I want. There's also a setting on here that'll allow you to spool spinning reels. The whole spool will spin, so you're not getting a bunch of twist in your line. Anyway, onward. What did I say? We're looking for 470 feet. So I'm going to keep on cranking, and I will be right back. All right, there we go. We've got 530 feet of 20-pound braid on the 5500 LC, and it is time to knot on the lead core. We're going to put on 3 colors. Looks like it's going to go yellow. Looks like it's going to go yellow, blue, and orange. So they're going to be high visibility. That's great. I'll get to see, I'll be able to see what I'm doing out on the water really well with those colors. So let's get started. Here's the first thing we need to do. Let me pull off a little lead core. Is we need to separate the lead core from the sheath inside. So I always start off by cutting a nice clean cut, and how you do that, let me get close to the camera. You just start playing with it. I don't know if you can see that right there. I've got a hold of the lead, and you just kind of work it down, and I want a few inches of empty sheath to deal with. And believe it or not, it seems to work better in cold weather. So what's that? That's probably 10, 11 inches of exposed lead right there. So let me clip off the lead. Just clip that off right there. And now we'll pull that sheath back up over the lead, and that will enable us to tie the knot in the sheath. And remember, the strength of Leadcore line comes from the sheath, not from the lead. The lead, let me show you that lead. The lead is just a very fine pencil of lead, and this will break very easily. So it is the sheath that gives the line its strength. So that's where we're going to tie our knot. We're going to tie the same knot that we used to link the mono to the braid. We're going to use it to link the sheath on the Leadcore to the braid. So this time I'll hold the Leadcore in my left hand. And here's the braid coming off the reel. Take that in my right hand, and I'm just gonna overlap those two pieces of line just like I did before. In fact, let me get a little extra out of the reel there. So there we go. They're well overlapped, and this time we'll start out with the knot with the braid. So we'll get probably six or seven wraps here around both lines. So there's 1, 2, there's 3, shorten that up, 4, right there, there's 5, and there is 6, and that's probably enough. So we'll start to draw that down just like that. And again, you don't want to draw it all the way down. You just want to get it started so you can still pull the other line through it, but you can control it. It doesn't want to jump off there. Now, we're at this point, we'll tie the same knot in the sheath of the Leadcore. Do 6 is our goal. So we'll go, let's see, 1. Fingers are clumsy out here in the cold. 2, 3, wait, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now let me pull this over here, and we'll start to work that down. So you can see that starting to draw down right there. Now we'll just draw these 2 knots down a little more. Draw this one in the braid down a little bit, and now we gotta bring those together. You can see them sliding together, and that one in the sheath is drawn down a lot more than the one in the braid. So kind of work with that braid one a little bit, get them down an equal amount. A little braid there. There we go. Now we'll draw that down. Oh, I like that. Okay, perfect. So there we go. I'm pulling fairly hard on the main lines. We'll draw these tag ends down now. Get a hold of this one. And get a hold of the braid. Now you saw I kind of had to take a time out there to fool with that knot a little bit. You got to watch the knot. Make sure it's going down right. Before you tie it all the way down, you can kind of use your fingernail there to adjust it. Make sure it looks, nice and smooth. But let me hold this up here. I don't know how well the camera picks that up. I'll hold it up against my shirt there. So right here, well, there we go. Right here's the knot. As you can see, that is a nice, smooth knot. So I'm going to trim the tag ends using my dull old kitchen scissors again. And then I'm going to apply a little bit of super glue to that. So here's that one. That was the braid. Here's the one in the sheath right here. That cut real easy. That looks like that. Very nice knot. That's a pretty powerful connection there. put a little bit of glue. You didn't see it. I turned off the camera. I actually glued my fingers together for a second. That glue was kind of wet on that last knot. So anyway, it wouldn't be fun if you didn't glue your fingers together for a second. When I was a kid, I used to glue them together like that. I'd freak out and start crying, run to my mom. But you know, a little bit of acetone, if you do get your fingers stuck together before this stuff completely dries, that will take care of that. So just set that down, allow that to dry a bit, and then we're going to spool on 3 colors of Leadcore line, and then we're going to put on our top shot. So I'll be right back. So there we go. We've got them linked together. We've got our spool of Leadcore in the line winder, got the reel in the line winder. Engage the reel. It's important when you're spooling up a reel, I like to tighten the drag down all the way. If you're reeling and you got some tension issues and the drag starts to spin, you can end up with your line not going on even. So tighten your drag down so you got plenty of power, and then just, you know, smoothly spool it on. We're looking for 3 colors of Leadcore to go on this reel. So let's get started. Here we go. Oop. Had the clicker on. So there's our Leadcore. There's our yellow going on. Yellow. Comes some blue. Color number 2 is blue. And here comes number 3 is orange, and that's going to be nice, high visibility. I'm going to be able to see that great. That's going to be fantastic. So there we go. Now, right there, snap that off. There we go. 3 colors of Leadcore on the reel, and it is time to put on our 20-pound top shot. I'll be right back. I'll go over the length of that with you, and we're just about done. That line winder works sweet. I'm loving it. I can't wait to get this new reel out on the water and troll some flies behind it. Okay, I've got the fluorocarbon, the 20-pound test vanish in my left hand. I've got the sheath of the Leadcore in my right hand. We'll lay them on top of each other. We'll start off with the knot in the on the Leadcore side first, and again, we're looking for probably six full wraps. So let's see here. There's go, starting it down, very nice, looking good. All right, so there we go, drawing that down. Now we'll bring those 2 knots together. There they go. Bring this fluorocarbon side down just a little bit more. There we go, they're just coming together right there. Now this is where you kind of gotta nurse this fluorocarbon side down. The sheath side, well, it wants to draw down because it's soft. The fluoro is a little bit stiffer, of course. And there we go. Pull those down. Pull on those tags. I felt a little bit there. Pull on this Leadcore side. One more time in both lines there. There we go. Trim those tags off there. There we go. There's the knot, nice and clean. A little dab of that glue. Glue was laying on my wife's eyeglasses. I hope I didn't get any on the lens. I don't think I did. There we go. Let that dry a bit. Put the cap back on before I do have an accident. There we go. So let that dry a little bit. And I'm going to be spooling on 50 to 60 feet of the Vanish 20-pound. And that's going to give me invisibility, even though it's 20-pound test. The fish can't see it. I'm going to take that down to a bead and a trolling swivel, and then I'll run my leader on that. It might be a leader to a fly. It might be a leader to a spoon, whatever. This is my shallow rig, as I said earlier, and what that longer top shot allows me to do, I might just want to fish with half a color of Leadcore out. So having that 60 feet of top shot ensures I'm going to have the bait well behind the boat. Now, the other rig, my deep Leadcore rig, it's only got an 18-foot top shot. So with that one, you know, I'm assuming I'm going to be fishing 10 feet deep or more. So I'm going to have a little bit of Leadcore out. But with this one, I might have a very short distance of Leadcore out. So I use that extra top shot just to ensure that my offering is away from the kayak or away from the boat. And, you know, I'm not so close to the boat that I'm scaring a fish. Although, you know, sometimes they will hit surprisingly close to the boat. So, you know, but that's how I set up. That's how I do it. And that's why I do it like that. Shorter top shot on the deeper rod, longer top shot on the rod that I'm going to be fishing shallower with. But that's dry. You can just burn it in with your fingers a little bit like so. And let me throw this on the line winder right here. One knock on this Vanish fluorocarbon is it is stiff, which works just fine for trolling. But don't know how much I like it if I was going to spool up with it and cast, you know, cast with it. When you're trolling, you're not really casting. You're just letting your line out in a very controlled way. So there we go. That's on there. And knock that clicker off there, and I'll get back to the fluorocarbon and then zero this out right there. So I'm at 0, so that should read 940. 940. It comes 940 right there. So now let's take a look at that reel. As you can see, it is full right up to the top. I've got 500 plus feet, about 530 feet of 20-pound braid backing. I've got 3 colors, or 90 feet of Leadcore line, and then I've got 60 feet of 20-pound Vanish fluorocarbon on top of that. That's how you set up the hybrid rig. That's how I set it up. It takes a little time. There's some knots involved. Just got to work through all that. But it's a very convenient way to fish once you're out on the water. I love it. I've been experimenting with these type of rigs for about 10 years now. I'm still dialing it in, but this is how I'm doing it right now. It's very efficient. It works very well. Just make sure you get that lower end Leadcore so you're able to take the sheath off the lead really easily. But man, that's just a beautiful job. Beautiful reel. I can't wait to get out on the water and try that. If you're looking for a line winder, click on over to the Fish Hunt Shoot production store. Not only do we have these line winders in there, they're about 40 bucks most places. I'm offering them for $35. We've also got all kinds of trout tackle and rods and stuff. Reels, stuff's coming in and out all the time. I've got several new products I'm going to launch. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for all the support. I hope this helps you guys out on the water that are interested in fishing with Leadcore line. And I will catch you next time right here on YouTube. I'm Kel Kellogg, and I'm signing off. Thanks a lot, guys.